Everybody, what's up? OCD Mikey, Hi-Fi Guy for another edition of the Mikey Hi-Fi Show. And today, what I'm going to do is take you inside the Eggleston Works Oso. And I'll tell you why. Okay, this is a special edition that I had made with Virastar internal wiring. Virastar internal wiring is very transparent. And what we got from the result here was an incredible image, just stellar. Ask anybody that's been here and listened. But for my taste, just missing something, you know? And so what I'm going to do is we're going to open this up. We're going to look at the crossover. Any of y'all that have the balls to do this can go ahead and do this at home. But just keep in mind, you have to be willing to mess your shit up, right? Because if you make a wrong move or you do something wrong, it makes it sound worse. But I don't mind doing that with these. So I'm going to go in and let's take a look first at what the crossover looks like. What the idea and the concept here is, I'm going to look at the crossover. If the crossover looks like it's easily accessible, it's not too hard to pull out and all that kind of stuff, I may just pull it out and then put in I'm going to look at what type of capacitor they have on the tweeter and take a look and see. And my guess is I can soften it a little by using a smoother cap up there just to see. Now keep in mind, the top is where the presence is, so I may end up removing some of that real presence and screwing it up. But let's take a look first and decide if we even want to bother with this. If it looks easy, maybe we'll bother with it. And I can do a bypass cap by clipping on alligator clips and just putting it onto the ends of the cap and just listen to it and take it in and out really easily without soldering. So let's take a look and see what we got in here. First thing I'm going to do is unhook the amplifier, and then we're gonna have at it. As you can see, it's a very nice carbon fiber plate. This is actual carbon fiber. I can clearly tell it's not like a carbon vinyl, which many companies might do. This is actually real carbon fiber. Holy sh! Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was all carbon fiber this thick. This is MDF with a thin layer of carbon fiber on the outside, but you can see. Oh, good. So it is easily accessible. Wow. Sort of. Oh my God! Look at what we got in here. Holy shit! Look at that inductor. Okay. So as you see here, let me get it from this side. As we can see from this side, and I can pull off those fast-ons. You see how they're connected? Right up there, that red wall, look down here. Let me see if I can get this light over here a little bit more. You see the blue on the bottom, that fast-on right there?
Look at that inductor.
I know, that's what I said. I said, look at the inductor, man. If you look in there, on the bottom, on the floor, is a massive inductor. Now, if we wanted to improve that, we could put an air core. This is an air core inductor, it's massive, man. I wonder how many henries that is. We could put some foil, and we could do the same with the inductor right here. We could put copper foil, silver foil, if we really wanted to go balls to the wall. But there's a fast on right here. There's a fast on right here on the bottom, that blue one, and then the red one up top. So we could probably unplug these and have this thing off in a second. And then we can look at what caps are used. They look like they are Solon, from what I can see, made in France. We could definitely improve on these. Look at that giant. You can get sort of the scale of the size of this thing. You know, it's the size of a big-ass bagel, you know, like a big bagel. Anyways, this is the crossover for the woofer, which is right here. You can see how thin it is, right? It's a low profile woofer that goes in here. That's what this part is for, this inductor, this cap. And then, as I thought, you can unplug this board and pull it off, and you can see it uses a giant 200 UF cap that's massive. Normally, in a cheap crossover, you know, some cheap speaker, this would be electrolytic. This would not be a film and foil. MKP means metallized polypropylene, so it's not actually a foil, it's a metallized polypropylene. Typically a 200 UF, if it were foil, would be much bigger. Again, we go down to this is the tweeter cap right here. It's a 5.6 UF, microfarad, whatever, I call it UF. Anyways, and you know, we can do better than this. We could either replace this. And the cool thing about this, I got to tell you, the first thing I noticed that you all should notice, this is very good work. This is a point-to-point crossover. There's no board in here. Okay, there's no PC board, which is sweet. And you can see how they take the legs of each, they put little hooks on them, so they're mechanically coupled, and then they run some solder into the joint. This is good work. Okay, this is very clean work. It's all zip tied down, very clean, very good work, as it should be in a speaker of this caliber. Yes, we could use some foil inductors if we wanted, but no need to mess with that. All I would do, because my highs are maybe a little bit more crystalline than I would like, is I would bypass this with maybe a Jupiter cap, a little teeny one, a 0.00, whatever, you know, a little one. And so perhaps we will do that. Again, you can see the speaker. If we look over here, see the side, this is an MDF. This is routed and done with MDF. You can see also inside there, it's MDF with the bracing and everything like that. We look down on here and you can see what MDF looks like. This is readily available anywhere. You can get this MDF by the container load, you know, in 2 days from your local supplier. It's plentiful, it's everywhere. So it's why it's used, because you're never going to run out of MDF. Not the same case for slate. And so that's where we get into the exotics and the exotic materials of like a Fisher & Fisher. It's made out of slate. But again, this Eggleston is done very well. And maybe we'll bypass this cap and see what we get. We may do it with just an alligator, where we clip an alligator here, we clip an alligator here, we put the cap in between. That way we don't have to do any soldering and we can see how it sounds. And if we like it, then we can come back and solder it. So anyways, hold on and let's see what we got. Okay, kids, so here I am out in the den of ill repute, whatever. This is where we play around. Let's see what we got. We can look for stuff. As you see, I've got caps. These are electrolytics up in here. Here's some more electrolytics. Look at that. There's a Jupiter. Just to give you an idea, that's 8 UF. Okay, and this is about the same size as the 200 UF that we had. So it shows you the difference. A high quality capacitor, you put in good caps. This mofo is a good cap. This is a very high grade cap, 8 UF. And again, the one that was about this size in that thing was 200 UF. So typically speaking, with foil caps, the bigger they are, the higher quality they are. That's just kind of a general rule of thumb. Here we've got a Mundorf. This is 8.2 UF. So you can see they're the same value, and look at the difference in size, right? You can see I've got Clarity, I've got Sonicap, I've got more Jupiters. There's a 2.2. There's some other behemoth Jupiters that are in there. I've got some big electrolytics. I've got crossovers, more electrolytics. These are high grade Nishikon
that's all
for power supply caps. But here's where we find my bypass caps. They're in these bins. And so if you want to hold this, and let's show them.
One down lower.
Yep.
It's going to be your thumb and foils.
Let's take a peek and see what Mikey has in one of his stashes of parts, my parts stash. I've got multi-cap, which is good. It's a 0.22. That's too big. We want something really... I've got a V cap. Here's a bypass cap, but this is just going to make it more intense. This is a 0.01. So this would be a good bypass value. But these things make... So if we had a sleepy... sound, we would put these in to wake them up. These are Teflon, film, and foil. Here's another Jupiter, 0.47. Yeah, so that's going to be too big. Let's see what we got. These are all, I think, 0.22s or 0.47s. These are typically 0.47 and 0.22 are typical bypass cap values. I'm sorry, typical output coupling cap. These are coupling cap values, typically. Here are some polystyrenes that I've got. These are old school. These are NOS, these things. Here's more of these V-caps.
V-caps.
I don't need those. I have a handful of those. Here's a Jupiter beeswax. This is one UF. These look like these might be bypass values. This is, what is this one? 8900 picofarad. So I'm looking for a little, oh, look at these little guys. It's a 0.27. These are 0.01 UF, and these are film caps, but these are not like audiophile grades. These are Sonicap 0.22s. Here's Audines that are 0.33s. Let's see, I know I had some. Here they are. There it is, the Jupiter copper foil 0.01. This is what we want. So we want these two. We want these guys. Okay, little Jupiter pipe, and those look like silver output. That looks like
silver.
It's either silver or it's pure copper. But you can tell it looks like it's oxidized or sulfide. You know, we'll clean those off. But you can see those are beautiful little kick-ass capacitors, bypass caps in that size. So we found what we wanted. We will put this. So our next step is I'm going to look for some. Here they are. Some alligators. As you can see, I've got some sweet alligators made out of pure copper, and see how they have crimps right there. So I'll go ahead. We'll crimp these on. We'll probably put those through here. I may even solder them and crimp them in there, and then we will have something to clip on to each side. I'll have to find the rest. I know I've got a bag of these. Uh-oh. Mikey in Japan.
Hello.
Hello. I keep that in there for posterity. So I got to find these. Here they are. Here's some more. Look at this. What do I have sitting in here? Like pure silver, next gen. I've got all sorts of killer parts from back in my days of playing around. Okay, so as you can see, look, I'm using my little polishing rag, and take a look. Can you see that? How clean it's getting? So that's pure silver. And then you can see the unpolished. Here's the comparison between the two. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe hard to see, but anyways, one is getting polished. We're gonna wipe these down, polish them, and then we will put our. And this is why, in many ways, surface mount is very good, because it doesn't have these wire leads that get, can get oxidized or get sulfide on them. This is pure silver. It's silver sulfide, not oxide. And it's still conductive silver sulfide. But we're going to clean it anyways. It's nice and clean. It'll probably take up solder better. Anyways, we do it that way. Then we're going to go ahead and... I don't have it plugged in. Oh yeah, it's on. Okay, so we will take these, and I am going to right here. I can tell by the handles which tools are which. Actually, I'm going to make a full hook. Just take that, make a little hook like that. Pull it through. This is like what I showed you inside, where you have, you make the mechanical connection first so that it holds in place. Then you've got a mechanical connection, and then you've also got your like this.
These are non-polarized, right?
These are non-polarized. Yeah, all film and foils.
They'd be non-polarized.
Sure non-polarized. Yeah. And then we go over here. Where's my Wonder solder?
All silver.
Wonder solder. Well, partially silver. I think it's like 4% or something like that. Okay, so Someone touched that there. Wonder who that someone was. Probably not me. So it gets jacked when you do that. Okay, so we will first heat this up. Run some solder down there.
Breathe in fumes.
Yeah, breathe in some. Yes, smell that lead. Okay, so we're good there on that one. I'll set this back. Take this other, and you have to do it quick, otherwise you'll heat the shit out of the capacitor, and you don't want to melt if it's like, especially if it's made with beeswax or something like that.
You could put a sink on it if you wanted to.
You can put a sink on it if you wanted to. Put this one up and through, however you want to place them in there so that you get that mechanical connection here. Push it flat. See, take a look at that. That is like really, that's perfect. That's what we want to see. Something like, oops, like that. Let me grab this little piece of solder here, and you can watch me run the solder into this joint.
How many hundreds of hours soldering in here? Thousands of hours.
Thousands of hours. You can sink it if you go like that, you know, if you want to take some of the heat out of it. Okay, so now we have our bypass cap that we can just take and clip right in around that other capacitor, and we don't have to solder, and we can see how it sounds. Now we got our LCR meter. I just want to make sure that we haven't thrown any weird resistance on either of these. I will clip on one side. Got my LCR set to 2 UF, so I've got 0.12 on this one. .12 on that one, so we're good to go. Let's go inside and click them on. Okay, so here we will take this, clip this on one side of the tweeter cap, clip this on the other side of the tweeter cap. Now we've got our, gotta make sure that we don't touch this right here with that. So I'll fashion this in a way. We'll have to do it on the other side. We'll go and bypass right here. And I'm probably gonna get some tape to make sure that we don't touch anything. We put this down. We wanna make sure, I'm gonna wrap this in tape just to be sure, and then I'll probably go like this. Keep it out of the way. And then we will put some tape on it and make sure it doesn't touch anything, and I will do this on the other side, and then we'll see how she sounds. Okay, so here we are set up with the Eggleston Osos in stock form. Well, actually, they're wired with Virastar wire internally. And we're gonna listen to, because I feel they're a little bit analytical, I'm going to use my test that will help us listen to changes we make according to the high frequency. Like, the high frequency is what kind of messing with me right now, so I'm going to try and tame back the high frequency a little bit and just make it smoother and more organic and not so analytical. And what I'm going to do is, first, so the choice of music is going to be Duran Duran, Ordinary World. Got the DAC at 100. That's half of what its output is. This is Wedding Album. Okay, so I'm stopping it right there. So this mix sounds pretty smooth. It's pretty balanced. There's a little kind of a carve out in the mid bass area, or the mid range actually, a little bit. It sits a little back. Now that was from the Wedding album. That was a 1644 FLAC at 981 kilobytes, kbps. We clipped on the bypass caps on the tweeter cap. Again, they are 0.01 UF. Recommended bypass cap value is 1/100th of the cap that you're bypassing. So we're less than that, right? Ours is a 5.6 UF, so recommended would have been 0.056 or 0.05. We have a 0.01, but it worked beautifully. So there you have it. And again, this is not me doing science. This is playing around, having fun, trying things. Unless you know what you're doing, I don't recommend you try this because you could blow some shit up or hurt yourself or break your gear or whatever. But if you're adventurous and you don't care if you break some shit because you'll just fix it or buy a new one, then fine. I've done this enough. We're going to go ahead and play this. And in typical old school fashion, this is going to be the first time I've heard it. I have not listened to it with the change until right now. I'm going to do it with you guys together. The volume is at the same volume that it was before. So.
Turned on the lights, the TV, and the radio. Still I can't escape the ghost of you. What has happened to it all? Crazy summer thing. Where is the light that I recognize?
Okay, so that hit it right in the mid-range, man.
It did.
Hit it right in the mid-range, baby. That mid-range came forward a bit, man. We got more mid out of it. So remember how I was saying there was a kind of it sat back in the mid. That mid has come forward with a better balance. What an unexpected change. I thought we were going to be playing around with the highs, and I hear that squarely in the mids. And that's definitely the tweeter cap that we put that on. I didn't inadvertently put it on the mid-range cap. So very, very interesting result. I like it better. Don't you? It's more involving.
Sounds a little better.
Yeah. We'll have to spend more time with it. Of course, it's not even broken in. The cap is not broken in. But right off the cuff, I think I like it. It actually gave me what I wanted, which was a little more of an organic feel. And that comes in the mid-range with it being just a little bit more sensual in a weird way. Oops, 100's too loud, I think. Bring it down to 96.
Baby, on the way, I was melting like ice on the back of my spine. Where we going tonight? You know I saw that eye
Pretty sick.
in the corner of the light,
That means good.
playing games with my mind. It's going down tonight. So ready for this on the floor. Oh, you know I'm coming back for more.
Pretty interesting. This one's forward sounding, so let's see how this one cleans up.
People on their own are getting nowhere.
Good sign. I want to turn it up.
I'm
think I
on
will.
the road to see if anything is anywhere I'm waiting just for me. Every night I walk around the city. Seems like I'll never know that feeling of being together.
Damn it. Don't tell me making content for you guys is going to drag me back into tweaking because, dude, the image is wide. I mean, I'm getting, all I can tell you is I'm getting more enjoyment from the rig. Now, by the way, that is a great song. It's the Little River Band. It's off Ultimate Hits. It's called It's a Long Way There. This is also a high-frequency murder song if your system is not straight. It will exacerbate, it'll hurt your ears, it'll drive you nuts. It's too much high-frequency energy in most systems. It rides the line, just like that Duran Duran song does. The mix rides the line, and if it drives you out of the room, your system leans forward. If you can handle it, your system is musical and organic. And so we just listened to it, and I wanted to turn it up. I never want to turn that song up. I want to turn it down usually because it's hurting my ears. So that in itself was a great sign. I think all in all, the capacitor bypass here has been very successful. And so I'm glad to take you guys along. I will tell you more about these amps coming up soon. These things are freaking phenomenal. These ones right now. These, the Nat Audio Transmitter Evos, sick amplifiers. I mean, these things are re-freaking tarded, and they're only 22.5 grand per pair, which is for an exotic like this, it's very inexpensive. Anyways, so thought I'd bring you along for that little ride, and I will see everybody soon. See ya.